Oh, it's 3:58. Oh, it's 3:58. Oh, okay, right. 3:58. M365 message to show 3:58. 3:58. 3:58. Let's start again. Episode 358 of the 365 Message Center show. This week we'll be looking at a double banger for Loop, but it's significant, right? It's got to do with M365 groups, so we'll talk about that. With also Copilot, we'll be able to access Viva Engage content. Well, that's great news to finally be able to access that. And lastly, if you just happened to close New Outlook, would you still be reminded of your meetings? Let's find out on this episode of 358.
Hello, Daryl.
Hello.
Hello, everybody. I will tell you, I was in Dallas this past week at TechCon 365, and I was talking about the show in one of my sessions, and a lady in the back said, "So are you going to do something special for the 365 episode?" I'm like, you know what? We've been talking about that. Have you been watching? She said, no. And I'm like, okay, first of all, why haven't you been watching? But second of all, yes, that's a great idea, and we've been talking about doing that. So, at the top of the show, Daryl, I want to say, people, if you watch the show or listen to the show, and you are you're attending Microsoft Ignite conference in Chicago, please let me know. I will be there with my audio and video equipment. Nothing fancy, by the way. It'll be my phone, but but I do have some mics. I would love to record you, like just 10 seconds of saying why you watch the show or why you listen to the show. That's it. So if you're there, please ping me at Daniel Glenn on X or at 365MCS on all the socials that matter, or email us. Info. I don't remember what it was. Info at 365mcs.com. I think that's right. Email us.
I'll put it there on the screen.
Contact us something, some way. I'd love to just set up, again, just 10 seconds. It doesn't have to be that long, and you don't have to be camera shy. We all do selfies these days, so it'll be great.
You have some exclusive stickers to share with those.
Exclusive stickers. They are exclusive stickers. Limited edition. Absolutely. And a keychain if you'd like. So definitely hit us up, please. Would love to talk to you. It's this week, Microsoft Ignite. Daryl, you're attending virtually. What are you excited about for Microsoft Ignite this week?
Actually, Daniel, you know me. I'll be honest. I am looking forward to hearing about updates that don't seem to be appearing as updates in the catalog right now. So I have been late organizing my schedule, and I would have actually benefited from copying a few people that have already done the hard work for me, because I struggled to find modern work in M365 sessions that were clear about what they were talking about. Now, you made a good point. Some of the titles are going to change once announcements have been made on the day, so maybe it'll be clearer then. But of course, we have backstage passes to what is going to be announced, and it is going to be an interesting week. So I'll just pause there and let it play out.
Yeah, I'm very excited to. Again, I'd really would like to have. I would like to meet up with people that watch and listen to the show. I'm excited about that possibility. So please hit us up so I can schedule a time to meet up with you. Again, just 15 minutes total to get everything to even meet up. Anyway, you get the drift. Let's jump right into this. I want to get loopy. Daryl, let's get loopy as a group.
Well, we had to loopy drop some loopies off off this schedule because there were a fair few that were released this week gone by. We joked a bit saying that maybe there was a number of updates that could have been a list of bullet points that were made message after message, but there has been significant stuff there, especially around administration, compliance. So do take a closer look. But the two that we want to look at today together to do with connecting Loop to M365 groups. Our first one, Microsoft Loop, Microsoft 365 groups for managing new Loop workspaces MC929023. Users, people will be able to, as they're creating new workspaces, choose an existing Microsoft 365 group to connect their workspace to. That's a significant step, Daniel. This means that you can use the membership of that group to access the Loop workspace. And of course, like if you're using your group in the right way, you're going to be sharing files. There'll be other things you might share in conversation in that group that you could reference now in the Loop workspace, and hand on heart know that members of that workspace will be able to also access the content there. This is good. What are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I agree with you, everything you just said. And also, when you talk about governance and compliance, which is, it just kind of says that in the message, it doesn't. But if you take that into account along with another message that we're not doing this week, that about Loop workspaces and Purview, and it pull that together. Yeah, we're able to manage the group and group resources in the same way. So it's great.
Yeah, look, the Loop team, Loop product group, have been working hard to try and unblock a number of these enterprise scenarios and make it easier for organizations to feel they can unleash Loop on their people if they want to use it, and do it safely and compliantly. Is compliantly a word?
Maybe.
We'll find out. Maybe. I just made it up. It'll work. But yeah, so that as an update is generally available worldwide late January, expected to be complete late February. And we're pairing that with an administrative update. Microsoft Loop require existing Microsoft 365 group for new Loop workspaces MC929022. Require a group when you're creating a new workspace. So this is an admin capability that if you turn this on, then as people are creating the workspaces, they will have to choose an existing Loop workspace. Now, that's a good thing.
An existing group.
Existing group, yes. Group, right? Yeah, not workspace. Yeah. Creating a workspace. Yeah, exactly. Group. They've got to connect to the group. Yeah, this is significant though, because, and I like how you put this, Daniel, when we were chatting about it earlier. The one of the benefits of being able to create a Loop workspace on the fly is that maybe you just create something as a place to get stuff collected, created, pull together ideas, create whatever, but the lifetime of it is not huge, and to have to think now in that flow of, now I've got to create a group, I've got to connect to an existing group, which one should I choose? Does it have the right set of people? In fact, is there a mix of people that are not going to be part of this group that also need to still have access to the workspace? A lot of sort of thinking that people have to go through in the creation process, or even, I think, as you said, what was it? You were saying about managed creation processes of groups?
Yeah, I mean, if you have a process where, users cannot create groups, and, it has to be, applied for, or there's a workflow for permission to allow it to happen, then you won't be able to create this Loop workspace without waiting, for that process to go through and get approval or someone else to create the group, unless you're adding it to an existing group. But then does the purpose of the Loop align with the group that you would be adding it to? You know what I mean? Like, if it is a short-term use Loop and it doesn't actually pair with an existing group, then that workspace is okay, well, now I've got to figure out, I got to create a new group, and now I got to wait, and blah, 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 if it's a managed one. So, I think the key here is this is optional, right? This is admins can enforce it, but if you enforce it, then you just have to keep that in mind that you may be keeping people from being able to, use a loop workspace in a limited, or not limited, focused reason, focused capacity, right?
They word it quite well in this message where it says, if you're doing this, then for a creation of small short-term project workspaces, it will become more challenging for end users unless they can skillfully select an existing M365. I love that. Skillfully select. Anyway, those appeared together. This is generally available January 2025, expected to be committed late 2025, so they're arriving at the same time. So loops and groups. Ooh. Okay, well, Daniel, let's move on to another group, or should I say community, that might be benefiting from some AI-ness.
I liked how you said community because it's Viva Engage. I got it. I got the connection. Microsoft 365 Copilot can access Microsoft Viva Engage content, MC 932535, coming soon. So this is exactly kind of what the title says, is that Copilot, Microsoft 365 Copilot, will be able to utilize the content that is in Viva Engage communities to answer, to give answers, to generate content. So this is a feature that I think we've all wanted. It's not really, a feature. It's more like a source for M365 Copilot. We've really all wanted because there's a lot of content in there, a lot of content, like answers, for instance, things like that. And that's included. It's, question posts and public communities answers and all that. So, those are and storylines. So those are the things that are included. Question posts that are communities, answers, which are question posts kind of, but in the answers in Viva, and storylines. And then they're going to then roll out, gradually expand that content source in Viva Engage afterwards to include discussion posts and storylines followed by private communities. Right. So anyway, I am a little confused though by what they're including in this and then what they're including, because storylines is in both. So I'm not entirely sure. Discussion post from storylines. Aha! See? Okay. So this is basically right now going to be real. I just had this epiphany after reading it for the fourth time. And this is why you're getting value out of the show, people. Because I was like, why is storylines both in the early one, the one they're announcing now, and then saying later on we'll add it? They're saying now it's going to be question posts from, number 1, public communities, number 2, answers, and number 3, storylines. So only question posts. And then in early 2025, later, they're going to do discussion posts from public communities, number 1, storylines, number 2, and private communities. So, interesting. Very interesting. By default,
I think starting with question posts, though, that's a good source of knowledge, because you're already kind of teasing out here's the question. What has anyone got any answers? And maybe you actually go to that extent of marking the best answer. But that's a good source of knowledge for Copilot.
No, I very much agree that having the first source being answers primarily, but also just question posts from public communities, that means you're not limiting the they could have said, answers is the only place we're getting it from right now. But that's a paid additional license, right? No, it's also the question post from public communities, just regular communities. So, so anyway, I I'm excited about this. This is rolling out worldwide mid-December and expected to be completed by late January 2025. So I'm excited about that. The more knowledge we can bring to our communities, the better. And so we can quickly take action, with Copilot. Right, Daryl?
Yeah.
How can we quickly take action in other ways?
Well, the right click always helps, wherever you are, whatever you do. Quick actions with Copilot directly in the OneNote canvas. It's rewrite, summarize, to do. And that is MC929041. Another well-described title that says it all. You're in Copilot, and you'll be able to right-click and access some of those. Did I say you're in Copilot? I meant to say you're in OneNote and you right-click. Maybe you are the sort of person that lives in Copilot these days. I start my day in Copilot. I don't leave it all day. I get everything done in Copilot.
I don't know about all of that, but starting your day in Copilot may be a good thing. I don't know.
Yeah. No, but so the good thing here is that in the OneNote canvas, if you are coming up with ideas and thoughts and you're leveraging Copilot along the way, then you can right-click and get some help with rewriting, summarizing content, and I guess it's grounded in the OneNote notebook, for example, and then to do. Now, maybe I should have looked at this a bit closer beforehand, but to do being that you can. All right, so there's there's an image there of summarize this, create a task list, and rewrite this. So that's what they mean by the to do part. And remember, the task list in OneNote is the checkbox. So, okay, yeah, select this paragraph and make some checklist items out of this. This it's a good first step, I guess, for quick actions. What else would you add to that, Daniel?
No, I think that's, like you said, it's a good start there. I think I saw Mark Cashman showing some of this off, I think, in this past week at TechCon 365, because he uses Copilot in OneNote to help organize a show or something that he was talking about. I can't remember. And it looked pretty slick. I think anything we can do, I use Copilot in this kind of realm of personal task management, help me be a better worker kind of tasks, and so anything that helps me do that in the way of and living, being in OneNote all the time to do stuff, any of that enhancements I'm excited about. So yeah, I'm any of this that I can gain and help me throughout my day, the better. So I would think, we'd get more features. Being able to rewrite is nice and summarize, but creating content and I just think there's more that can be done, and we'll probably get it.
I think so. If it's the quick actions right click menu, there'll probably be limited space in terms of what they'll choose to put in there and maybe swap things out. But yeah, I was just thinking summarize is probably something that would be useful for those of us who still flat tack, verbose, take notes in OneNote, and maybe we need some help summarizing what we've just written. Yeah. All right, so this is going to be available for OneNote for Windows 32 version only, Win32. So they're not talking about bringing it to mobile or tablet platforms yet. General availability worldwide will begin rolling out mid-November, so next week, and complete by mid-December.
Yeah.
I think along with interacting with OneNote, we probably want to interact with other things as well. And what better place to do that within Teams?
Yeah, such as files, maybe? Microsoft Teams File Interactive Previews, MC934727. So now, and we talked about this on the show. I didn't go back, sorry, to look at what episode it was, but we talked about how you could click on a file in Teams and it would open in the browser. And if you were in Edge, it would have the Teams chat, and we could, continue the chat there while we're looking at the file. Well, now with this update, we're actually going to be able to view the document, interact with the document inside Teams chat. In this, and if you look at the screenshot there, it's very interesting. It's going to do the kind of the blowout, like it brings out, it's like a modal or something, blows out the file for interacting with it. It is important to note, although the screenshot is showing a PowerPoint, that this first, they're calling it stage 1 release. I didn't know we had stages for our releases, but we do, will just be for PDF files. And just for, I guess, single file attachments. So if you attach multiple files at once, I guess it's not going to work. That's what I'm assuming, because it says single file attachments. I don't know. It'll be good to test. We'll get around to it. PDFs, and then gradually extending the support for Office files. So PowerPoint, Word, and Excel. I think this is great, and it'll be on by default. I think this is great because Daryl, it's all about not taking me out of my flow of work. I want to stay where I'm at in Teams in that chat. Hey, everyone, take a look at this file. Well, if I click it and have to open it into a web browser, then I am now taking out of that context, especially if I'm not using Edge, right? So that makes sense, right? I think.
Yes, it does, and I unmuted myself because this is like a Teams meeting, and I was just practicing. I felt like I was missing that kind of experience. Mm-hmm. I don't know how often I would open a PDF in this way, but the hint is it's for previews. So, hey, everyone, take a quick look at this. Mm-hmm. Now, if you're going to open it up and start looking at it in more detail, then of course you're going to open it in a separate window. Yeah, it's
well,
good.
Like in PowerPoint, you're just scrolling through the presentation. If you need to edit it, or you need to edit, look at the notes or comments, you're going to have to open it up full in the full viewer.
Yeah.
So targeted release rolling out early January 2025. Oh my! We're at the end of the year, people, and this is scaring me. All of having messages that don't even start in 2024. Anyway. Rolling out early 2025, January till late January 2025, worldwide, early February, expected to be completed by late February 2025. GCC, and I had a lot of people ask me about GCC this past week at TechCon 365, and asked if we covered. Yes, we talk about when things are rolling out to GCC. This one will be mid-March and completed by mid-April. GCC High, late March to late April 2025. And DoD, early April 2025, completed by early May.
Daniel, I'll just say a comment there about covering the GCC side of it. We definitely do, because it's in the message, and we love seeing all the ranges and date ranges when things arrive. But when we do say it, it's often that here's the message and we're hearing about it, but it's not till much, much later that it might arrive in GCC. So keep that in mind too, that you're getting fair warning if you listen to our show for stuff arriving in GCC.
Yeah, and hopefully this helps you prepare for that change because, again, yes, you are getting fair warning. So, speaking of fair warning, Daryl, you have a meeting coming up. I do. It just popped up, didn't it? Tell us all about it.
It did, yeah. Very well done there, yeah. You'll see why soon, audience, or here, as the case may be, because you do listen to our podcast, and while I'm mentioning that, do give it a recommendation so other people can find it. Aren't you proud of me, Daniel? I can promo too.
I am so proud.
New Microsoft Outlook for Windows, calendar notifications in the background. This is MC935645. Fantastic feature. Think it's going to be turned on by default if we interpreted this message correctly. This means that even if you closed new Microsoft Outlook for Windows, this setting will still deliver a notification for an upcoming meeting. Hey, 15 minutes ahead. Remember this meeting. And that's actually a comforting thing, because it's just too easy to close an application and then miss the meeting, unless that was your intention. Hey, Bob, right? Bob, you want a quiet day with no meetings, then close Outlook and close your phone. Anyway, that's a huge detour there, but this setting is quite useful for this. Good to
Bob's
see it
getting
coming
fired
to
because he's not going to any meetings.
Totally, yeah. The thing to note, as I said, it is from it's a very well screenshotted message. Lots of different examples of where to find settings and the like. It can leverage on Windows your notification center, so that's where it will pop these things up if Outlook is closed. But it does appear like that it will be on by default, and then you could choose to turn it off.
I think there's some... I don't think that this message is very, very clear as to if it's going to be on. We think it might be, but there's two things here. There's the actual functionality and allowing users to have the settings and do it. And then there's the users actually doing it, like to enable or not enable. I don't know. So some of this kind of leads us to believe, it's the feature's going to be there, but you have to turn it on. But then some of it leads us to believe that the feature's going to be there, but it will be turned on for you as a user. So we don't know. I don't know. At least I don't know. Daryl may know very well, but I don't know. So just pay attention to this one.
Pay attention to it. Yeah. Hopefully it doesn't rely on you going through all of these screenshots and clicking certain things to get the desired effect, but maybe it will. But anyway, this is going to be in targeted release late November and complete in late December, and general availability worldwide to GCC, GCC High, and DoD, rolling out early January, complete by February 2025. And Daniel, if we were doing this show live, then maybe people have joined halfway through, partway through. Maybe they'd want to catch up with the beginning,
They definitely would.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And so maybe you'd want to do that in Teams as well. Updated Microsoft Teams. New DVR capabilities for town halls, desktop and web. MC932488. So this is interesting because it right now when we do town halls, it is you join the town hall, and whenever you join, that's where you're starting. And if you're late coming in because you're actually getting work done and you joined the town hall late, then you didn't get to hear the stuff before, and you catch the recording later or something. This is what this is going to do. And it says DVR. I think it says DVR just to kind of give you an idea of what you're capable of doing here. It's not really a DVR per se, but you're going to be able to catch up to what's going on in previously. So if you join 5 minutes late, we believe, and it says starting from the beginning of the event, so you'll be able to go to the start instead of having to ask people what they say in the first 5 minutes. You're going to be able to pause. Maybe that's somebody comes to your desk and talks to you, and you're like, you can pause it and then click play, and it'll keep going. Be able to skip forward and backward just like you can in a DVR. There is one that says that it was very interesting. The bullet point: control the volume of the content with the volume control. I would think if there's a volume control, that's what you probably do is control the volume. But that's what we're doing. And then be able to click the watch live, so catch up to if you've rewound to understand what's going on, then you could say catch up. So So I think that's good, Daryl. I mean, it allows us those capabilities that we're all kind of familiar with our DVRs and our, we're watching TV or watching a recording or something. We can do those kind of things. So, I'd like to know your opinion, but this has always been a stickler. People with town halls is that you can't know what has been said if you join, a minute late or 5 minutes late, right?
I'm kind of hung up on this acronym DVR. It feels very American, and it feels almost like, when we say, "Ha, I got you on tape." What do you mean you got me on tape? Do you tape things now? It's like saying I got you on film. DVR, digital video recorder, like DVR features. Anyway, it's look, I would expect to have this kind of stuff since we've been spoiled in this way when we view live streams anywhere else, that you can pause, go back, jump ahead, click, catch up, go live. So great to have it. I guess, got to get this across to people who have been used to using DVRs, these great TiVo things that
TiVo.
You can pause and play and record all your favorite shows. So early 2000s.
But you know what?
But
it's rolling out targeted release early January 2025. The updated, by the way, in this is a timeline update. Begin rolling out early January 2025. Expect to be completed by mid-January. And then for general availability worldwide, middle January to late January. And then GCC rolling out late January 2025 and expected to be completed by early February of 2025. So be looking out for that. Well, that is our show for this time around. Remember, if you are at Microsoft Ignite, please hit us up on all any social that matters at 365MCS, or send us an email, info@365mcs.com. I think that's right. Info. It will be by the time you see this. Or hit me up at Daniel Glenn at any of those places. I'd love to meet with you and give you a sticker and all that, but also record you for just a few seconds of telling why you watch the show. So would greatly appreciate that.
Evidence of the one of millions of people that watch and listen.
Millions.
Yeah. Great to have you here this week. That was episode 358, and we look forward to seeing you again. Bye for now.